Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Poonam Bhartiya, Assistant Professor, Department of ASH, IIMT College of Engineering. Today, I am here for discussion about the topic development of religion during ancient India. And it is one topic related to Indian tradition, culture, and society paper in epithet third year. First, we should understand the earliest root of ancient Indian religion. So, when we talk about the earliest root of Indian religion, then we can find the flourishment of Indian religion within different time periods, like Indus Valley Civilization, Vedic period, later Vedic period, Mahajanpat period, Maurya, Gupta, later Gupta, and after that, medieval and modern. So, first, if we talk about the earliest root of Indian religion, then we can find its roots from Indus Valley Civilization. And it was the first historic period when we got the example of religious practices like use of public park, fields, and fields with image of Pashupati. And it is surrounded by animal, and it is related to contemporary our Hindu god Lord Shiva, and it was like a Mesopotamian horn deity, and it was basically there were basically a large number of religious figure during Indus Valley Civilization also, and there were different evidences like worship of Mother Goddess, who was the symbol of fertility, and other symbol like evidence of image of yogi, etc. So come to the early folk religion after Indus Valley Civilization or during Vedic or Mahajanpat. So there was a tradition of early folk religion of ancient India, and it was a non-Vedic form of religion during ancient period. And there are many evidences of folk religion and non-Vedic deities in Agamas, collection of Tamil and Sanskrit scriptures. And it is like Dravidian folk deities, Ayanar, etc. And the role of female deities was major aspect of Dravidian religion. So it was basically related to Dravidian religion, and it was started after Indus Valley culture. And it was basically a non-Vedic religion. And there were tradition of worship of tree, serpent, or snake, and yakshni, etc. Now, come to the Vedic religion. What is Vedic religion? How will you define the Vedic religion? Vedic religion, also known as Vedism, or in contemporary period, it's also known as Hinduism. And it is a religious practice and belief of the Indo-Aryan during Vedic period. And the Vedic period time period was 1500 to 500 BC. And there were many sources like Vedas and different related to different text related to Vedic and later Vedic period. And the significance of Vedic religion is foundation for later development of Hinduism. And there are different historical contexts like geographical reason. The geographical reason of Vedic religion was northwestern region and Indian subcontinent, and started with northwestern region, and it flourished within the Gangetic areas. And there are different Vedic texts like Vedanta, and there are Brahman, Upanishad, and there are Sahitas also, and RNA. So, how many types of Vedic literature? So, there are 4 types of Veda. Number 1, Rig Veda. Number 2, Sam Veda. Number 3, Yajur Veda. And number 4, Atharva Veda. What is Rig Veda? It is the oldest from the Vedas or Vedas, and consisting of 5 sukta. It is dedicated to various deities such as Indra, Agni, Varun, and others. And there are a collection of different mantra during the performance of rituals of yagya. And Samved basically it is there are many mantras related taken from the Rig Veda, but there are 72 near about 72 mantras. They are new, and it is primarily a collection of hymns derived from the Rig Veda. It's focused on the musical chanting of verses. It is actually based on musical chanting during the performance of rituals of yagya, and it associated with the stone sacrifices and rituals. And Yajurved contains prose mantra. It is in poetry form, and it divided into two major parts: the Shukla Yajurved, white, and the Krishna Yajurved, black. And it includes instructions for the rituals and sacrifices, and it is also the knowledge of their rituals. Why the rituals does during the uh, performance of yagya. And what is the Atharved? Atharved consists of hand charms, spells. It has a more diverse content, including everyday concern, healing, rituals, and philosophical thoughts. Yeah, we can say it is basically related to philosophical aspects also. Key element of Vedic religion in Veda. So, number one, polytheism. So, what does polytheism means? Polytheism means worship of different gods, more than one and two. So, there are different Vedic gods like Indra, Agni, Varun, Som. Indra god is related to rain, and Agni, god of fire, Varun, god of cosmic order and water. Som, it is associated with ritual rites during the performance of yagya. And second ritual and second element of Vedic religion is rituals. So there are first element is there are different gods. Second element is there are different rituals and sacrifices like performance of rituals, yagya, and sacrifices home to appease the god. So it is for God to maintain cosmic order, Rita. These rituals involve offerings such as clarified butter, ghee, grains, and som. So it is actually offering ghee, grain, som, and other things. So there are many rituals like these, and come to the sacred chanting. The third element of the Vedic religion is sacred chanting. Chanting, the oral tradition of reciting hymn. So there are reciting of mantras with particular manner, and the Samved emphasizes the melodies of within chanting. So it is like the pronunciation of chanting mantras, and it is also emphasizes the chanting in melody form. The next element of Vedic religion is philosophical concept. So there are Upanishads includes philosophical inquiries into nature of reality, the self, Atman, and ultimate reality, the bound. So the Upanishads tells about two things: human or Atman, and the ultimate reality of God or Brahman. So it tells about the both realities or both world, the earth and the cosmic. Now, come to the Vedic literature beyond the four Vedas. So there are different literature we already discussed that there are different literatures also related to Vedas. Like all Vedas have its Brahman, Aranya, Upanishad, and also Sahitas. So it is number one, Brahmans. Brahmans, it is in prose text, it is in prose form, and every Veda has its own Brahmans. And second is Aranya, it is forest. Uh, it is related to forest areas where uh, the Rishi Munis went and write the Aranyakas. So that's why it's named Aranya. Next is Upanishads. Upanishads are the philosophical text we already discussed. Now, come to the next things. During later period, Vedic religion divided into different parallel forms like Vaishnavism, Shaivism, and Shakti or Shakta sect. So first we should discuss about the Vaishnavism, and it grew during later Maurya, basically later Maurya period. What is Vaishnavism? It is a major tradition within Hinduism. It's dedicated to the worship of Lord Vishnu and his avatars, particularly Ram and Krishna. The origin of Vaishnavism traces to the early Vedic period, and there are different epics and Puranas literature, and Purana basically Vishnu Purana related to Vaishnavism. Purana basically Purana basically are the part of Vedic literature also. So the epics played a crucial role in popularizing Vaishnavism. In Mahabharata, Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, is a central figure and it portrayed as supreme God. The Bhagavad Gita, a part of Mahabharata, is also related to this set. The Ramayana narrates the story of Lord Ram, another avatar of Lord Vishnu. And it is continued with the worship of these types of avatar of Lord Vishnu. So it continued till the Bhakti movement of pre-medieval and medieval periods. And Bhakti movements basically, the base of Bhakti movement was basically the Vaishnavism, and different types of poets and different types of saints were related to Vaishnavism. And it was basically main part of Bhakti movement. So how many types of philosophical schools of Vaishnavism in ancient India? So we can understand there are different types of schools like philosophical schools emerged within Vaishnavism, and each offering a distinct interpretation of Vishnu natures and the path of salvation. Actually, it is related to bhakti. Bhakti means the worship of Lord Vishnu. And by the worship of Lord Vishnu, you can get salvation or attain. So there are different philosophical schools like Vaishnavites. They were qualified non-dualism. They believe on non-dualism. So the propound by Ramanuja, Saint Ramanuja. This philosophy emphasizes a qualified non-dualism where the soul and God are distinct but inseparably united. And next, dualism. Dualism or Dvaitavad, founded by Madhvacharya, and it asserts a strict dualism between the individual soul and God. Next is Advaita. Advait, non-dualism. Non-dualism, though primarily associated with Shaivism, but Advaita Vedanta, as articulated by Adi Shankaracharya, also influenced Vaishnavism by promoting a monastic interpretation where Vishnu is the ultimate reality. So it was basically influenced by the Shaivism. Last is Gaudiya Vaishnavism, founded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it emphasized devotion of Vishnu, particularly in his form as the youthful, playful deity. Now, the next parallel sect within Hinduism or Vedic religion was Shaivism. Shaivism, one of the major traditions within Hinduism, is dedicated to the worship of Lord Shiva as the supreme deity. And the worship of Shiva can be connected with the Indus Valley Civilization. And some of the earliest representations of what might be proto-Shiva figure, as earlier we have already discussed, the image of Pashupati are found in the Indus Valley Civilization, and the famous Pashupati saying depicts a horn figure seated in a yogic posture surrounded by the animal. We already discussed. Next is Vedic period. Vedic period, in the early Vedic text, Shiva does not appear prominently, but Rudra, the example of Rudra, is considered a precursor of Shiva. So Rudra was the god of anger, basically. He was god of anger, and it was associated with Lord Shiva. And Rudra came during later Vedic period, basically. The next Upanishadic and epic period, and it was 800 BCE to 200 CE. So the concept of Shiva as major deity developed in the Upanishads, particularly in texts like Shvetashvatara. And the formation of Shaiv tradition was started after 200 BCE till 300 CE. And it was basically the time of later Maurya. Last phase of Maurya and basically later Maurya. The Purana, particularly the Shiv Purana and the Ling Purana, elaborated on the mythology of Lord Shiva. Now come to the classical period. And after later Maurya period, the Gupta period was a classical period of worship of Lord Shiva. This period sees the consolidation of Hindu tradition, including Shaivism. There are different temples, sculpture from the this para depicts Shiva in various forms, like Nataraj, the cosmic dancer, Ardhanarishwar, and different other forms. There are different texts like Shiva Sutra and others are related to sects, Shaivism. And after that, early medieval period in like Bhakti movement was also emphasizing personal devotion of Lord Shiva. And saints like Nainars in South India. Nainars was a worshipper of Lord Shiva in South India, and they contributed the spread of Lord Shiva devotional literature. The rise of various Shiva sects like Pashupati, Kapali, Kalamukha, and the philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism by the Trika system. Trika system also developed during this time. So the next sect parallelly developed during different time periods within Vedic religion was Shakti sect or Shakti sect, and it was related to worship of goddess, and that maybe roots from Indus Valley Civilization, like mother of worship of mother goddess in Indus Valley Civilization. And Vedic period, the Vedas, particularly the examples of worship of different examples of different goddesses like Usha, Aditi, and others. And in post-Vedic period, the Upanishad and epics also narrates like Mahabharata, Ramayana, began to emphasize the power and sacrifices of the goddesses. So the next evidence from Devi Mahatma, the Markandeya Puran, the Devi Mahatma, also known as Durga Saptashakti or Chandi, also related to goddess worship, like goddess Durga as the supreme power. So there are different historical evidences of Sakti or Sakti sect, and now the development of Sakti sect are related to different literature like Purana, like Devi Bhagavad Puran and Kalika Puran further developed the mythology and worship of various form of goddess, and the Tantric tradition, which flourished during the period, played a crucial role in the development of Sakti. Tantric texts and the practices emphasize the worship of goddesses and the use of rituals, mantras, and other sacred diagrams. Like Tantric texts are also related to worship of goddess, specifically worship of Kali or Chandi. And Bhakti movement, the rise of Bhakti movement, which emphasized personal devotion to a deity. So it was also goddess-centric sect. There are also goddess-centric sect, composition of numerous devotional songs, poems dedicated to the goddess. And there are different regional cults also, such as Kali in Bengal, Kamakhya in Assam, and Meenakshi in Tamil Nadu became more prominent during later period. After the discussion on the Vedic religion and its parallel sects, after uh, it, we should we should understand about the next main religion during ancient period, and it was revolutionary religion like Buddhism and Jainism. So, what was Buddhism? Buddhism basically founded by Siddhartha or Gautam Buddha. And what was the core teaching of Buddhism? Buddhism basically based on different uh, main teachings like number one, four noble truths. Four noble truths, like there are four noble truths of every life. Number one, dukh. So, what is dukh? Every person has suffering or dukh. So, life is full of suffering. Number two, samudaya. Samudaya means suffering is caused by desires and attachment. So, what is cause of that suffering? Cause because of desire. And third is nirod. Nirod means there is a way and suffering. And fourth is marg, means the path to the erasement of the suffering in the. And what is the path? Path is eightfold path. So the second core teaching is eightfold path. So what is eightfold? There are eight things we should remember in our life. So it can be a path of end of our suffering. So number one, we should follow these eight things. Number one, right understanding. Understanding the nature of reality and the path of transformation. Number two, right intent. Commitment of ethical and mental self-improvement. Third is right speech. Speaking truthfully and avoiding slander, gossip, and harmful speech. Fourth, right action. Behaving in a particular manner and ethical manner. Next, right livelihood, avoiding occupational harm to any other. Next, right effort, cultivating positive states of mind and overcoming negative ones. Next, right mindfulness, developing awareness of the body, sensation, feeling, and state of mind. Next, right concentration, Right concentration means developing the mental focus necessary for meditation. So these all 8 things are important for every life for erasement of suffering of life. So how many types of sects within Buddhism during ancient India? There are 3 major branches of Buddhism. Number 1, Theravada Buddhism. Number 2, Mahayana Buddhism. Number 3, Vajrayana Buddhism. So, after the foundation of Buddhism, after the Nirvana, after the Nirvana of Buddha, Buddhism divided into different sects. So earlier it was divided into 2 sects, Theravada, Mahayana. Later on, there was one another branch emerged within Buddhism. It was Vajrayana, and it was equivalent to Tantrayana of Hinduism. So, what is Theravada? Theravada, and we should understand there were conceptual differentiation between these branches. So, what is Theravada? Theravada, also known as the school of elders. So, it is the oldest form of Buddhism, emphasized personal enlightenment through meditation and insights. So, it was basically focused on personal enlightenment, and basically they want predominant of it was predominant in Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma, Laos, Cambodia during these days. So they emphasized personal enlightenment through meditation and insight. And they don't believe on the worship of Lord Buddha as Lord and as within his image. Next is Mahayana Buddhism, known as the Great Vehicle. It includes a variety of schools and teachings, emphasized the Bodhisattva path, where they seek enlightenment not only for themselves but for all beings, and they believe Buddha as God. And it is predominant in East Asia like China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam. The third form of Buddhism is Vajrayana Buddhism. It's also known as Tantric or Esoteric Buddhism, and incorporates rituals, mantras, and meditation practice aimed at rapid enlightenment, predominant in Tibet, Bhutan, and Mongolia. So, now, key concepts of Buddhism. There are different key concepts of Buddhism like karma, rebirth, nirvana, middle way. So, what is karma? Law of cause and effects are related to karma. So, intentional actions influence future experience according to this theory. Rebirth, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that we undergo until reaching enlightenment or nirvana. Nirvana. And nirvana, the ultimate goal, a state of liberation from the cycle of samsara and suffering. When you get the liberation from the cycle of samsara, or it's called the nirvana. And middle way, the balanced approach to spiritual practices that avoid extreme asceticism and indulgence. Next, practices. Practices like meditation, ethical conduct, wisdom. So, the way of practices of Buddhism, basically meditation and ethical conducts are important. And the next is important text. There are texts, basically like Veda. Buddhism has its own text called Tripitak, Pali Canon. Tripitak, 3 Pitaks. 3 Pitaks, number 1, Sutta Pitak, number 2, Vinay Pitak, number 3, the Abhidhamma Pitak. So there are 3 Pitaks in Buddhism. And there are different Mahayana sutras also, like Lotus Sutra and Diamond Sutra, Herd Sutra, etc. Now, come to the next religion during ancient India. It was Jainism, and it is contemporary. It is popular during contemporary period also. So Jainism has roots from 600 BC in Indian subcontinent, and Buddhism also had root related to within this time period also. Jainism refers 24 Tirthankars, spiritual teachers who have achieved liberation. The most recent and well-known are Pashupati, the 23rd Tirthankars, and Mahavir, the 24th Tirthankar, and a contemporary of the Buddha. And what is the core principle of Jainism? There are five basically core principles. Number one, ahimsa, non-violence, the most important principle in Jainism. It advocated for non-violence in thought, words, and deeds toward all living animals. Satya, truthfulness, always speaking the truth, unless it harms others. Aste, non-stealing, non-taking anything that is not willingly giving. Number four, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya for layperson. This means faithfulness to one's partner. And while for monks and nuns, it means completely celibacy. Fifth is aparigraha, non-possessiveness. It is detachment from materialistic and emotional possession. So these five types of five core principles related to Jainism, and four principles were old and ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. These all are important within Jainism. Now come to the scripture. So scriptures basically the Jain literature called Agams and the canonical scripture of Jainism, which contains teaching of the Tirthankars. And there are three types of tenets, like three types of philosophical schools, like Anekantavad, Shyadavad, and Karma. What is Anekantavad? Anekantavad is a multiplicity of viewpoints. No single perspective is the complete truth. So there are different types of truth. Truth has different aspects or angles. Second is Syadva. It is conditional truth. Truth is based on different conditions also. Third is Karma. Karma believe in the mechanism of cause and effect that binds the soul cycle of rebirth. So there are three basic philosophy of Jain religion, and there are two types of sects within Jain religion. Number one, Digambar. Number two, Svetambar. Digambar, who within Digambar, monks do not wear clothes, and Svetambar, they wear white clothing. So thank you for watching this. It was the discussion on the religion during ancient India, and it is not related to religion from pre-medieval and medieval and after that. Thank you so much.